Hi, guys. Once again, you are welcome to Empowerment Talks with Comfort Konfor. Hi, Lisa. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for always being there to encourage us. And today, as you can see on the screen, we have the powerful lady in the house. You know what it means when the hunter becomes a hunted. And today, because she likes to do the takeaway, she is here today to give us something to take home as far as ONPASSIVE is concerned. So, guys, let us welcome none else but our own Tyra in the house. Tyra, you are welcome to Empowerment Talks.
Hi, Comfort. So good to see you today. And hello to everyone that's joining us. What a pleasure to get to be on your show. I was going to say we had a good laugh to start because it's an odd position for me to be on the other side. I'm usually the interviewer. So this is going to be interesting. I'll try to behave.
I know, I hope that both of us are going to behave ourselves. I know how much we have worked hard to finally have this show done today. I really appreciate that. Finally, you are here today. So, if you can tell us about yourself, please, Tara, will appreciate that.
Okay, well, sure. I am a farm girl my whole life, born, bred, lived in Saskatchewan, Canada. And my husband and I just wanted to make a change. We had enough of the very cold weather in Saskatchewan. So we
Mhm.
moved to Vancouver Island, BC, almost 6 years ago. Some of our history, I am a retired hairdresser. I love being around people. I just enjoy connecting with people. My husband and I had got into church ministry for about 15 years. I ran a drop-in center for kids on kind of an after-school program thing, and it just kind of developed into a weekend thing to help kids get off the street, help them be a little safer in the evenings and stuff like that. And gosh, I've always been, how would you say it, a lover of the underdog. So, doing those kinds of things in a church ministry and just being able to enjoy young people and then getting to know some of their parents, grandparents, because it was a lot of challenges for people that we were working with in our Indigenous people in Saskatchewan. Many of the men and women were in very compromised situations. So yeah, it was a really great blessing. And I think it, coming as a hairdresser and working with people, I think it really helped me grow personally even more than I had before. As I said, I've always loved being around people. I find people so interesting because everybody's got a story. And who can say, no, that's not right when it's your story, you know? So
Yeah.
I just have really enjoyed that phase of my life coming to the island. I thought I would kind of retire, but it didn't really pan out that way because I had gotten involved in some affiliate marketing businesses and gotten really busy. And so I ended up having to kind of go back to work so I could support my side habit, which never actually supported me, to tell you the truth. That's kind of it. Married almost 20 years, couple kids, couple grandkids, and just loving life here on the island.
Wow. Thank you so much for telling us that. I really do appreciate. But there's something you just said that I would really like you to touch on it again. You just said you were a hairdresser, and apart from that, you love meeting people. So what is the experience now? Because this is the real, when you say you're meeting people, this is the real scenario here in Unpassive. You have people of all races, all parts of the world, all walks of life, and so on. So what is the experience here on Unpassive?
Well, as you know, I came into ONPASSIVE in 2020, and the business I was in before, I had started interviewing. And interviewing really drew me because, as I said, I love to hear people's stories. And It's all kinds of walks of life, businesses, experiences, and everything's so unique. So when I came into On Passive, I made the decision that I wasn't going to advertise. I wasn't going to do a bunch of things that I normally had done. I was going to interview. And oh my goodness, the people that I have been meeting. And, a big reason that I wanted to interview people with On Passive was to hear their story, like kind of the A to B. How did you get from here to there? And not so much at the beginning with any business, you kind of want to do it for yourself. But then as you learn about the business, you learn about the heart of a business, and especially On Passive and the kind of heart they have. I love to be able to interview and how my interviews can help anyone. You go publicly, so you can't control who uses them. But I love that because it can benefit the whole On Passive family. Right. So finding out like why people got into it and hearing stories of people just getting burnt trying to do, say, MLMs or affiliate marketing and just getting burnt. I mean, my own story in one of mine was I invested to begin with almost $5,000. Then all of a sudden I learned every year I've got to pay another $2,500. Then I got to advertise. So, a person kind of doesn't hear the full truth at the beginning. They make it sound so sweet and you get in and now all of a sudden you're committed. So I've heard a lot of those stories in the couple of years that I've been interviewing pertaining to On Passive. But, there's kind of that negative end and people being burned and the struggles they've had. But then on this other side, you hear their results in finding On Passive and learning what this company is about and the kind of heart that it has. And wow, what a change in their story. What a change in what's going on with them and the passion. And I just did one that's going to be coming out, and she talked about how would I say it? She kind of lost her belief in humanity. She was so discouraged. And then coming into On Passive, what happened to her? And it was just heart moving, because it's a real company. It's that kind of thing that's centered on helping people. So I hope that answers your question, because it's sometimes hard to stop, when you talk about On Passive, for sure.
All right. Yeah, sure. It does help, of course. And I appreciate the idea that you were interviewing people in order to inform or educate people, because I can share the same experience, right? So many people come back and say, thank you, because of so and so video or interview you made. So many people joined my team. So consciously or unconsciously, we are bringing people into On Passive through this interview of a stuff. So I really appreciate that, and I pray that God should give us more wisdom to keep on doing that.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So earlier on, you said you have been involved, or you are still, I'm sure, involved in the church ministry. You like helping and so on, and all of those, and that is what lies at the bottom of Mr. Mufare's heart, right? So to you, what is the value of sharing with others the benefits of a founder position with On Passive?
Oh gosh, that's an amazing loaded question. I love it. Well, pardon me. Well, the thing of it is, to become a founding member with On Passive isn't a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 investment. Ash Mufara has made it so accessible to almost anyone. And even if funds are tight, it's a $97 USA cost. You can always get together with another person and split that cost. So that was a big thing for me in how accessible it is for people. And, you know, when you meet people that are struggling, it's not the 1 or 2% that are on the top that are making, you know, the ching. It's
Mm-hmm.
those that 97, 98% that are really struggling. And like I said, for myself, I was making investments into trying to get my business going, but I wasn't getting anything back. Well, all of a sudden you got a deficit, you know, and that's no fun. So
Right.
being able to share this with people and saying like, look, this is how it's going to go. You're going to get in as a founder, and it's not a big investment. You're going to be able to be promoted. It totally turns the tables, doesn't it?
Right.
Because now all of a sudden I'm not the one putting in all my money to advertise or buy products or auto ship or all those things that we once were having to do. Now ONPASSIVE can come over and they can begin to promote. Wow, my goodness. I think alone the money that I had to spend on a website. So
Hmm.
here I am as a founder. When ONPASSIVE goes public, I'm going to have a website, a domain name provided by them on my choice. They're going to take over the advertising. They're going to market everything the way it should so that they can get good targeted traffic. They're going to deal with customers. They're going to sign up. So to share that with people, it's like, my goodness, there's not a lot of hard stuff involved in this. You know, it's just more becoming a founder. And then,
Mm-hmm.
of course, it's subscription based, I tell them. So here you've got 250 or less, and you're going to pay it one time. And then the company's going to start paying you the profit share. So that subscription will come out of profit. So, you know, I hate to use the term, and I know we sometimes overuse it and
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, well, it's a no-brainer. And I want to be fair, you know, because for me, when I heard about ONPASSIVE and I heard it was an AI IT company, I didn't know anything. I was like, give me the sign up. Where do I sign up? Where do I pay? I was in because I know that is where the money is. Other people, people like my husband, they stand back, they watch, they investigate, they do that longer time due diligence. And I think that's wonderful too, you know, and that's the beauty of it. You can do either or. So it is quite simple to just be able to share because it's like, I like something that I had put one time on a social media post about, I don't compete with you. So without having competition and me trying to get above Comfort to win and to earn more, I don't have to do that. I
Right.
work equally with you and we build the business and we all benefit. So to tell people that, oh my goodness, that just makes it so much easier.
All right.
So that's kind of the stuff why I share, why it's easy to share.
Right. I know, given your experience in affiliate marketing and the moment, your aha moment when you find out about ONPASSIVE, you say, I know that is where the money is. Was that what influenced the name of your platform, TN Build Wealth Together? How did,
What inspired me to use that?
yeah, yeah, was that what inspired you to use that?
Right, right. Well, you know, you always have to come up with a little business name, or maybe you're going to use your name. And I was thinking ahead because I knew the company was going to give me a domain name and my choosing what I want to name it. And as I thought of the other things that I did, you know, when my kids were small, I did a lot of those MLM businesses and home parties and things like that to try to earn extra money on the side. And
Mhm.
it was tough. It was really tough to keep trying to renew people you knew and stuff. But I was thinking, okay, if I'm going to have this in the near future, I need to have something that really says, I'm not in competition with you.
Right.
We're going to do this together. And, you know, to me, whatever you do, whatever your goals are, any of that, we're all seeking time freedom
Right.
and financial freedom, right? So why not TN grow wealth together?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what inspired me to take that name. And then, of course, I'll be using it once we launch publicly with ONPASSIVE.
Perfect. You won't believe that you just helped me out because I've been struggling with that, and I'm yet to come out with something what I had in mind, and now you just kind of I think made it easier for me to finally get mine done. So maybe for the background to say, does this really make sense? So thank you for sharing this one. It's really important. Yeah. So Tara, Mr. Ashmufare's intention of sharing. I know we are saying one thing over and over, but this repetition is just for emphasis and for people to get it stuck right because we want this to go through. So Mr. Ash's intention actually of sharing his wealth is to reach out to vulnerable people around the world, right? So what is your idea of giving back to the community, especially when ONPASSIVE launches? What do you have in mind?
Oh boy, how long do we have? You know, I have to say, when I had first signed up, and as I said, I signed up right away as soon as I saw it. But
Yeah.
then I went to a webinar, and I've done, because what I've done, as I said, I ran a drop-in center and stuff, and I've done mission trips to other countries and helped out at orphanages and different things like that. Because as I said, that those are some of my passions, you know, the people that, the underdog, the people that are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So my first webinar, when Mr. Ashmufara came on, and he began speaking about, okay, so I have all this money, I'm wealthy, what do I do? Do I buy a new plane? Do I buy a new Bentley? Do I, you know? And he brought up the fact that there's people, children especially, suffer without shoes, without clean water to drink. Okay, now I'm going to start crying.
I know.
For to ask me such a question.
I know.
Heard him say this, and it just resonated in my heart because those are the things I've been doing. I was in those places and I saw the filthy water that was there. You know, I was on reservations in Saskatchewan that people struggle,
Mm-hmm.
and they just don't have enough, and you know, all kinds of atrocities that go on. And hearing this, I was like, oh, thank you, God, I'm in the right place. This person has the right heart. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt, whether this company took another year, another 2 years, 3 years, whatever it took, I knew this company was going to be successful because of that attitude. I followed too many gurus, too many, even the company I was in, bragging of their newest ivory tower and their beautiful this and their beautiful that. Well, I don't believe God put us here for that. I believe He put us here to care for each other. And ONPASSIVE just, I probably sound so silly, you know, because people are thinking, yeah, right. But you know, folks, when you hear this over and over and over again from founders, that this is the kind of heart this company has, there's no reason for you to not come in and check it out because it's true. It's not too good to be true. It's true.
Wow, this is because I don't let people go through this platform without touching this humanitarian part, because that is the reason, that is what ONPASSIVE is all about. And equally, I do get emotional when we reach here because it's just amazing. And You know, the Bible says fields are wide and harvests are waiting. So our heart's desire, why we share this, guys, watching us, is just to get as many people on board as we can, because we have enough to go out there and reach
Yes.
out to people who are miserable. Yeah. So we really
Yeah.
pray, hope that this touches hearts and people join us in this winning team.
Yes.
Right.
And
Mm.
I do want to clarify also, if you don't mind, that I had run in this drop-in center. I had also run what we called a mission house, and it was a
Okay.
separate house from the drop-in center where, because I was a woman, young women could come and live and experience what it's like to be on a mission field, but at home, right?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they had to work at the drop-in center, okay? So they could experience these things. And I really taught them, like, guys, a mission isn't way out there somewhere. A
Mhm.
mission can be right here at home. You know,
Right.
my husband and I were talking this morning. We have an abundant garden, and we're constantly taking tomatoes or lettuce or, to our neighbors, so I do want to make it clear, because sometimes people think, okay, some kind of goody two shoes way out there, you're going to go somewhere. But,
Mhm.
each of us have people in our lives right close at home
Right.
that we can help. And I know ONPASSIVE is going to bring me buckets of apples. I have no worry about that.
Exactly.
So then, what am I going to do? Well, what's the sense of me hoarding it up? It's not going to help anybody. What
Right.
I'm going to do is to be able to begin, as you said, the Bible has great words. I can begin in my own circle,
Right.
and then I can begin to spread out. It's same as what you're doing. You're
Mhm.
working in your own circle, the things that are your passion,
Mhm.
or on your heart. And each of us can do that. Well, my goodness, what if we're a million founders by the time we launch? Can you imagine one person and what they can do?
Exactly. Right.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
Oh, I know. You know, there was last time I was listening to a comedian who said if he's rich, the first thing he would do is adopt a child, because when you adopt a child and so on, there will be no suffering children around. But this time around, from my own perspective, I think ONPASSIVE can turn things around in such that instead of taking a child maybe from a parent who is alive just because they can't make it, you provide for them. She keeps her child, grow up with them, and then still live good and things. Yeah, so that's much
Oh,
like.
totally. Well, I mean, we learned by experience, and many countries, Canada, Australia, I'm sure, Africa, like many countries, we've learned by experience what happens when you remove a child from their family, their community, their environment. People get messed up.
Yeah.
They need to be in their environment. And my goodness, if a person has that extra, our family kind of had stopped buying Christmas gifts because we said,
Right.
what do we need? I don't need it. If I need it, I go buy it. So what we
Exactly.
started to do is where you can invest money into families that need to buy a goat, someone that
Mhm.
needs to buy chickens, and we would do that sort of thing because my goodness, that is helping that person. We're not removing them from their environment, but we
Exactly.
are giving them a way. Like my husband says, don't give a man fish, teach him how to fish.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly that. No, thank you, Tara. This is very useful information, and I'm just happy with the way the conversation is going. Right. You know, severally you have said previously, like charity begins at home. We start from our circles and go round and round. But you know, in this case, yeah, let's begin from this charity, Comfort, Tyra, right? What are you planning to do that you have never done before in your life? When ONPASSIVE launches in your life, your direct family, what are your plans for yourself?
Oh gosh. Well, my kids listened to me. As a hairdresser, I had got my journeyman's so I could work anywhere in Canada. And my kids growing up had listened to me saying, one day I'm going to buy an RV and I'm going to travel all over the place, because I could work anywhere kind of thing. Well, there's so many amazing provinces and communities right here in Canada.
Right.
Apart from the amazing stuff worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
So something that would just be total interest for me would be doing that, is buying an RV and traveling Canada and just finding those needs that my husband and I could sew into. And it doesn't have to be, how would you say? I've heard, that saying, don't let the left hand see what the right hand is doing. There's so many ways that a person could just keep giving into communities. So I love to travel. I love to meet people. So 2 blessings for me. Third blessing is to be able to sew in, be it in my time, be it with money, So my goodness, the things I could do in Canada, I'm sure it would be years and years that I could just stay around here, let alone anywhere else. So
exactly. The good thing here, Tara, is that we are being provided here with all of the money on earth and all of the time on earth. So we can do all of these things you are saying. They are all possible, because many people at times they have money, they don't have the time to go. Others have time, they don't have money, and so on. We have everything. Why not?
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. That's the whole thing. That's why, when I talk to people about it, it's like, it's time and financial freedom, because those are the 2 things. Right. So once, as Mike Ellis says, once your bottom line is looked after, what more do you need? I don't need a big mansion, and you know what I mean? It's like, I want to be comfortable. I'll look after my family, and but there's so much more. So much more in this world.
Exactly. No, it's just very exciting. I made this joke with my husband. I told him that when on passive lunches, I'm going to have a 20-bedroom house. Say, please, I don't want to be overwhelmed. That's not what we're after. I say, all right, I get it. Let's stop it right there. So there's much out there to do, and it's just so fulfilling already before we start doing it. It feels really good that one is ready to do that. Yeah.
Right. Totally.
Right. So if when you listen to our great leadership council members like Dr. Bill Williams, he says we are on our way up, and life at the top can really be boring, right? That's why we're doing everything to pull everyone along, so that up there I meet Tyra, I meet Michael Williams, I meet Collins, and so on, right? So what do you have to tell people who have heard about ONPASSIVE and they are not making a move? Or others have heard about it, they have registered, they've signed up, but they are not sharing the vision.
What are you guys doing? Get in.
You know how we started. Don't go back there.
Right. Like, what is holding you back? That would be my question. Like,
I know.
In our world today, Jeff and I were just talking about this. One of the big things that has been happening for the last 2 years, we say it's this thing or that thing, what we're all facing here. But you know what it is? The biggest thing that's happening that I would call a pandemic is fear. Truly, truly. Because people are afraid. They're afraid of change. They're afraid of different. They're, and I just want to really encourage you guys, like, you've done your due diligence. What have you got to lose? 97 US, and you're fully guaranteed for a refund. If you give it, a week or 2 or a month, you can say, you know what, this isn't for me. And we'll say, okay, fair enough. Away you go. Here's your money back.
Yes, with a kiss.
Goodness. Yes, yes. So, as I said, oh, you guys get in, really.
Come on, guys. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it, right? I always end up by saying we can only take the horse to the stream, but we can't force it to drink. But of course, that's water still flowing. True. Who is testing? Come on, right? Yeah.
We'll just keep pouring it over your head. So
I hope yeah. At least hopefully many more people decide to drink of it, because we want many of us at the top, and it's going to be fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
that you might have heard that old saying, misery likes company. But I think it should be joy likes company because they have more fun.
Yeah, sure. Misery can stay there and be miserable, and but joy has to be joyous, joyful with someone else. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, Tyra. I really appreciate your time. I'm happy that we finally made it. Guys, me and Tyra have been planning this for ages, and finally we made it today.
Got our
Well,
wires crossed, no worry, hey.
thank you so much. And guys, thanks for watching. Those who are watching us live, those who will watch after this, do well to share. Share to your loved ones, get them on board. You can't do this job alone. If it was something one could do by themselves, Ash would not need us. Ash needs us to reach out to our people down there, because he can't go there. Join us. That's all we can say. Thank you. Thanks. Okay. Bye, Tara. Thanks. Bye.